Hi, and welcome back to this new video tutorial of Akeneo. In today's video tutorial, we'll be checking out Akeneo Backup Management plugin. Now, using this particular module, the admin of the Akeneo would be able to create and restore backups of two types for the website. So these two types of the backups are the asset backup and the what we say as the database backup. In the case of the asset backup, you'll be able to create a backup for the media files, PDF, docs, etc. And in the case of database backup, you'll be able to create a backup for the product information and the customer information there. So in today's video tutorial, what we'll be doing is we'll be checking out the backend configuration settings of the Akeneo Backup Management plugin in the admin backend panel of the Akeneo, wherein we'll be seeing how we'll be able to initially create a backup for the assets and for the database there, and then how we'll be able to restore the data from the created backups for the assets and the database there. So for more, we'll be checking out the backend in a while from now. But before I proceed further with this particular video tutorial today, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive the latest updates from our end. And if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. So let's hop onto the Akeneo backend panel and let's see the workflow of this particular plugin in the first place there. So right now I'm at the Akeneo backend panel, as you can see on your screen. So what I'll be doing initially, I'll be showing you what exactly we get in the admin backend panel of Akeneo after the installation of this particular plugin. That's the Akeneo Backup Management plugin there. So for the same, let's log into the Akeneo backend panel first. So I'll be entering the username, password, and I'll be tapping here on the login button then after. And after we have successfully logged into the Akeneo PIM backend panel, on the side panel of the Akeneo, we'll find one option there for the backup itself. So let me close this out and let me tap never on that. Now on the side panel here, if I scroll down, I can see an option here after the successful installation of this particular plugin. That's the backup option. And if I tap on the backup option here, you can see that we have different tabs here. So the main tab here, the first one is the documentation tab for how to create and restore the data backup from the Akeneo Backup Management module there. Then we have the backup configuration, wherein we'll be able to create a new backup for the asset and for the database there. And then we have the restore backup section, wherein we can find the created backups there, and from those created backups we can restore the data for the assets and for the database backup there itself. And lastly, we have the support tab from the creator of this particular plugin itself that gives us the user guide, store, link, ticket customization, live chat and review section there. So the main options here are the backup configuration and the other one there. So let it load up. So here we are having the backup configuration and the restore backup option. So now in the first place, let's see how we can initially create the two types of backups there for the website, that are the asset backup and the database backup. So to create a new backup, what we'll be doing is we'll be going to the backup configuration here, and here we'll be going to the new backup button that you can see on the top right hand corner. So what I'll be doing is I'll be tapping here on the new backup option here. So let's tap here on the new backup option, and this gives us the option for the local backup there, and here we can create the backup. So we have to give the backup code there. So let me set it as new asset backup, and here the backup is the local backup there. And then we have the save button to save this particular local backup. Let's tap here on the save button now. After we have tapped on the save button there, then we get this particular section that says edit backup configuration option, and here we are having the edit backup configuration section, and here you can see that the backup is the local backup. The backup code is the new asset backup that we had set up, and here we have the option to choose the backup type. Now here we can select the backup type as the database backup or the asset backup. So let's create the asset backup first. So I'll select asset backup, and then we have to give the internal path, and it must have the writable section there, and it's a required one. So accordingly you can give the internal path where exactly this backup would be saved at. and then after we are done selecting here the backup type as asset backup, I'll tap here on the save button to save the particular backup there. So you can see that they are successfully updated and the new asset backup under the backup code has been created. Now if I go to the restore backup section, you can see that no history is found there. And let me come back to this particular section here. So this is how we can create a backup there. Then I'll show you how we can basically execute the particular backup to create a backup there. So initially we have just created the backup type and the backup code. Now we have to execute this backup to create that particular backup there. But before I execute this one, let me close this window out. Let's create a new backup. Let me set it as new database backup. Let me tap here on the save button. Initially we created the backup type as the asset backup. Now we are creating a new database backup, and here we'll choose the backup type as the database backup. We'll set the internal path here, and then we'll tap here on the save button thereafter. So you can see successfully updated. So we are having now the new asset backup and the new database backup here that we have just created, and the backup types are assets and the database underscore dump there. Now let me show you how we can execute these backups that we have created. To execute them, for example, for the new asset backup, what I'll be doing is I'll be tapping here on the play button that you can see. So I'll just tap here and it would say, do you want to execute this particular profile? And you can see that after executing this particular backup job, backup will be generated in the given path in the edit backup configuration form. And kindly do not refresh this page until the complete backup has been done. So let's tap here on the OK button to execute this particular backup. So you can see that the backup has been created successfully for the asset. Now let's go with the database backup. Let's execute it by tapping on the play button that we can see on the right hand corner for the respective backup that we had created. So let's tap here on the play button, and now let's execute this particular profile there. I'll tap here on the OK button, and you can see that the backup has been created successfully for the database as well. Now after we have created the database backup and the asset backup, we need to execute those backups there, and after we have executed them, then if we come down to the restore backup section, then we'll be able to see these backups available there with their source as well. So here you can see now we have the new asset backup with the asset hyphen the code .zip file, and we have the new database backup Akeneo underscore db with the number .sql.gz as the file format there. And if you want to restore the data there for the assets and the database back, what you can do is you can execute these backup codes there or the backup files there by tapping on the execute button on the right hand side for each of the respective backups or the restore backups that we have under the restore backup section. So for the new database backup, if I want to restore this particular backup, I can tap here on the execute file. I'll tap here on the OK button, and you can see that the database restore takes some time to complete the job. Please wait. So this will take some time for that database to restore. And similarly, in the case of the asset backup, you can restore the asset backup once again, that one that you had created, by tapping on the execute button, tapping on the OK on the prompt there, and you can see that the backup restored successfully is being displayed there itself. So yes, that was much about the Akeneo backup management module there, and I hope that this particular video helped you out in understanding how initially the admin of the Akeneo would be able to create two different types of backups there, that are the asset and the database backups, and after the creation of the backups, how you will be able to execute these backups. And after we have executed these backups, then we will find these backups under the restore backup section in the particular section there, as I've shown you there, and then you'll be able to even restore the assets and the database backups once again there as per your own requirement there. So yes, that was much about the video today, and I hope that this particular video helped you out. If you still have any questions, queries, suggestions or requirements regarding this particular plugin, then you can anytime get back to us at support@webcool.com, or you can raise a ticket at webcool.uvidesk.com as well. Apart from that, if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. And lastly, thanks for watching this particular video and have a great day ahead.